For almost a year now I've had my Seiko, which is the SPB 381. And I love this watch, hence why I bought this watch. And I know what I said in the video, I said it's the best Seiko ever created. And I think, for the first time in Chisholm Hunter history, I might have been wrong. Because this watch, oh my God. Welcome back everybody to the Chisholm Hunter channel. My name is Harrison, as always. And we're here to talk about a brand new Seiko banger today, which is potentially better than my watch that I bought. And we're doing it all from the Highlands of Iceland. We're deep in the middle of Iceland at a place called Mývatn. It's a very famous volcano. I've wanted to shoot it for ages, and I've taken this watch along for the ride to see if it can stand the same tests that the last one did. Okay, so let's stop teasing you. Let's talk about this watch. So this new watch is the Seiko Prospex 1968 Heritage Diver, and this is the GMT 60th anniversary with the model number SPB 519J1. Before we get into the specs of this watch, let's just cover the history really quick, because I think that is very important when it comes to Seiko divage heritage models. Seiko was actually founded in 1881, and it was founded in Tokyo by Kentaro Harati. From Japan's first wristwatch in 1913 to the world's first quartz watch in 1969, and yes, you heard me, the world's first quartz watch. That essentially means that Seiko kind of caused the quartz crisis. Seiko has really led the way in innovation while keeping true to its watches for everyone philosophy. And that's why a lot of Seiko watches are extremely affordable. Now there's a hint of anger when I talk about the innovation that goes on around Seiko, because the quartz crisis nearly killed our industry. There's no doubt about it. It almost single-handedly wiped us out. But I suppose with any big technological advance, there's always going to be ripples throughout the industry, and then it will settle thereafter. I mean, AI is a perfect example of this. Okay, so now we get to this specific Seiko model. To celebrate 60 years of Seiko diving watches, and also the launch of the 1965 diver, which was the first ever Seiko diving watch, this latest timepiece takes inspiration from key milestones in the diving history, in Seiko's archives, and it actually has key components of the banger from 1968. And on that note, let's start talking about the specs, but let's do it from somewhere a little bit warmer, because although you guys can't see it, I know that it looks sunny, but we are in Iceland. It's absolutely bloody freezing. This right here, this is one of the reasons that Iceland is like unreal, because no matter where you are, you can stop in the middle of a road, middle of nowhere, and something like this is right in front of you. I don't even know what it is, but it's so cool. How does that come about? And now for the specs. So this watch comes in at 42 millimeters in diameter, 13.3 millimeters in thickness, and it has a lug-to-lug of 48.6 millimeters. And yes, I know, it's official. We're back in the studio because the wind was just absolutely mental in Iceland. Let's just get back to these specs for a second. So interestingly enough, the watch is actually slightly thicker than my Seiko that I have on at the moment. My Seiko is the SPB 381, and surprisingly, this comes in at 12.9 millimeters in thickness rather than the 13.3 millimeters that this one comes in at. And that's despite both of these watches having exactly the same movement. But what they don't have exactly the same of is the water resistance. So this new model, not the one on my wrist, the new model, the beautiful blue, we'll talk about the bezel in a second, but the water resistance of this one is 300 meters, whereas the previous variant, my variant, is 200 meters. This watch also comes in full stainless steel, so there is quite a bit of heft to this watch when you actually feel it, when you have it in your hands, and that's partially because it is a little bit of a chunky monkey, and also there's tons of new features being kind of stuffed in to this watch. The bracelet is quite nice. Now, obviously, if you're comparing this to a £6,000 Omega, it's not going to be in the same realm, but for the price, it's actually really good. And what's even better about it, and another thing that they've upgraded about it, is the micro adjustments. So the bracelet on this watch is a 3-link stainless steel bracelet, but where the real highlight is here is the fact that it actually has a 6-step micro adjustment system at the clasp, and this offers up to 15 millimeters of on-the-fly extension. And that would be, or would have been, so useful, especially when I had this watch in silhouette. As soon as it gets warm, your wrist naturally expands. It happens to everyone, and not having on-the-fly extensions just makes your watch not quite as comfortable. They've also upgraded the deployment system on these bracelets, and it works so much better than the previous variant, the one that I've got in my hand, I have to say. There's always been a bit of gripe in the Seiko community about the bracelet, and I feel like Seiko have really listened here. It's so much better, it's so much easier, the micro extensions are brilliant, the bracelet feels more premium, it's less flimsy, it's just better. And now we get to the bezel in which there's been so many conversations about, because the bezel, I don't know whether the bezel's blue, green, or black. It is one of the most diverse, I suppose you would say, colored ceramic bezels that I've ever seen or experienced on a watch, and that is saying a lot. I don't really know what they've done here, but I think it's partially to do with how metallic it is, and that kind of sets off different tones based on the light. Sometimes it looks black, sometimes it looks a lot more green, sometimes it looks very, very blue. But every time you look at it, it's slightly different. And that's what I absolutely adore about this watch. Now, when you pair that blue bezel with that silvery white dial, and then also add in the splashes of red for the GMT hand and at the tip of the second hand, it's just a winning formula. And I think this, again, guys, is where this watch really shines through for me. The color combinations, it's more fresh. And I'm not saying that I don't like the Seiko that I've got by any stretch of the imagination. I love this model, but I think this just is the new upgrade. It's got tweaks, it's got refinements that make it that little bit better. And color aside, because color is kind of subjective, the refinements do make it that little bit better. Now, something interesting about that dial is there's actually been a shift away from the textured looking dials, the almost Grand Seiko-esque looking dials, into a more flat, subtle approach. They've got rid of the textured wave dial of the SPB 509, for example, and this one has a sunray brushed silver white dial. This is dressier, cleaner. It's just that little bit more versatile. And where it looked really good, I have to say, is in Iceland. The black sand, the rugged aesthetic. Actually, you know what? Let's just quickly flash back to a couple of brilliant memories with this model. I do just love the fact that Seiko seems to be kind of listening to the watch community when it comes to the upgrades now, instead of just doing their own thing. Hamilton have actually done that really well over the past couple of years, and I feel like Seiko are really doing that now. They listen to our gripes about the bracelet, bezel, dial, whatever it might have been, and they've made the changes based on that. And as a watch consumer, as a watch lover, that's really all you want from brands. And I love the way that Seiko are doing that and executing that. This model, of course, has sapphire crystal, like most other models do, and it has anti-reflective coating on the inner surface. It also has the exact same movement as my SPB 381. It has the caliber 6R54. This is fully automatic, and it's accurate to +25 to -15 seconds per day. It has 24 joules, and it has approximately 3 days or 72 hours of power. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, for a Seiko model, this is not cheap. It comes in at roughly £1,600. And when you think of the standard price for a Seiko, you probably think of £400, £500, £600. So, you know, you're 3xing almost the standard price that you would assume or expect to pay for a Seiko. But with that price comes some pretty incredible upgrades. I do believe that this is possibly the best Seiko that I've reviewed so far, and it's possibly, it probably is my new favorite Seiko model. I love the color. I love the refinements. I love the bezel. I love the bracelet. I love the look. I love the feel of this watch. Everything about it, to me at least, is just perfect. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button or follow our Instagram at Chisholm Hunter Watches or my Instagram at HB Lifelens or the podcast, the Into the Mind podcast. And I'll see you guys real soon.